Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live, thank you for that. Please remember that Facebook does keep these shows pervasive on our page, so you can go watch them whenever you'd like. We also upload them to our website, www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We have audio and video versions on that platform. We also put them on our YouTube page. So hope you guys are doing well on this beautiful Friday morning. It is going to be sunny. We'll get into your weather a little bit later. It's pretty clear right now in terms of traffic. On ramps, looking at a little delays at Range, Jubin, and 447. However, once you get on I-12, looking pretty clear. It's still flowing. Also pretty clear at 4H Club Road, River Road, and 190. So as it looks right now, once you kind of get going into Baton Rouge, you're going to get going. Some minor delays at some of the intersections and some minor delays on 64 heading into Central, but otherwise looking pretty good for your commute this morning if you are heading into work on this Friday. It's currently 70 degrees, pretty nice morning out there. 92 degrees is your high, so it is going to get warm, but 70 again overnight. Now they have taken that rain, might start Sunday, but we are looking at rain on Monday at this point. So again, we thought might get some rain over the weekend, late in the day on Father's Day, which is Sunday, so please remember that. However, looks like that's going to be moved to Monday. If we do have rain on Sunday, it's going to be later in the day. Got a couple of important things to talk about today, one of which kind of slipped through the cracks on our end. We do apologize for that, and that would be that early voting starts tomorrow. Please remember that back in May, before the regular session ended, Secretary of State Kyle Ardoin had to go to the legislature and make up a proposal for how to handle voting during COVID-19. So one of the things they did was they expanded early voting to 2 weeks to try to get more, try to give more people more time to go, but at the same time, try to make sure there's not too many people at once. So say somebody goes up there on, maybe a Saturday and it's packed. Well, they can try to go back again Monday. If they can't make it, then they have more time to do so, trying to expand the amount of people they can move through there. Now, that has been extended 2 weeks, and of course, this whole election has been pushed from the spring all the way here into July. Will be the final day. Again, it'll be a Saturday in July. So remember, 2 weeks of early voting, then a week off, and then the regular election will come on the Saturday after that week off. So please keep that in mind. Let's go over the details real quick. The library satellite location will be open and operational at the Denham Springs Walker Branch Library to go vote. You can also go vote early at the registrar's office. So again, those are both early voting sites. You have to go to your regular precinct to vote regularly on that day. But please remember, they will be open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and Saturday. They will not be open Sunday for Father's Day or the Sunday after. So please keep that in mind when you're thinking about going to vote. Neither Sunday of those 2 weeks that it's open, they will, neither Sunday of the 2 weeks of early voting will those sites be open. Now, those who are working at the sites will be in full personal protective equipment. They'll have face shields, masks, scrubs, gloves. It's going to be a very interesting experience. They do ask that you wear a mask. Of course, it's not required, but they are asking that you do it. That would be the registrar's office, is going to try to get you in and out as quickly as possible. So again, early voting does start this Saturday. That'd be the 20th. That's tomorrow, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday, no Sundays. Now, what you're voting on, this is the presidential primary, as well as a First Circuit Court of Appeal judge position. So that would be a position on the bench there in Baton Rouge. We did get to sit down with Rich Schwartz, who's running for First Circuit Court of Appeal. Have not sat down with his opponent yet, Miss Beth Wolf. So that's his opponent. If you'd like, you can go find both of those people on our website, www.livingstonparishnews.com. Search for their names. You can find all about their announcement. Again, early voting starting tomorrow, June 20th. Also want to remind folks that voting in the presidential primary, you can only vote for somebody in your party. So you're only going to be either voting for Republican if you're a Republican or Democrat if you're Democrat. There's also the Democrat Executive Committee and the Republican Executive Committee. They're on the ballot, as well as a chief of police race in Albany. So those are some of the things you're looking at here on your spring ballot. Speaking of podcast, again, we talked about being able to sit down with Rick Swartz. We got to sit down with Mr. Jeff Taylor, our assessor, Wednesday, and talk to him a little bit about sort of a rock and a hard place kind of position for the assessor's office. If you'll remember, some of you may not. 4 years ago, we did flood. Since then, we've had a discount on our property taxes. It started at 20%, it started at 25%, went to 22%, and then 20% last year and this year. That was supposed to fall off this year. However, it is still going to fall off. So your flood discount on your property taxes is going to fall off your assessment. However, there is going to be a COVID assessment of 10% added to all residential structures. Actually, before I get into that, just remember that COVID assessment 10%. We'll get back to that. The assessor's office will still honor a flood discount if you can prove through pictures, through contracts, that you are still working on your house from the flood, and if it will pass what they call a spot check. So they're going to have to come verify that information. You need to go to the assessor's office if you are still working on your home from the flood. You need to go talk to them, bring evidence, and they will come out and inspect your home, and then they will apply that discount if it applies. You're going to have to work with the assessor's office on that. Now, getting back to that 10% COVID discount on your property taxes this year, right now it's going to be 10%. If it has to be more because this thing lingers, it will be extended and applied to next year. Now, for commercial businesses, there are going to be some businesses that wow, drew a blank there. I'm sorry. For commercial businesses, there are going to be some people who qualify for this, or some businesses that qualify for this, and some that don't. We all know that there were some businesses, especially those like restaurants, that were hit very hard by this and had to find ways to maneuver around it. Whereas there were other businesses that shall remain nameless they probably did better during this time. So one of the things you need to do as a commercial business is prepare your paperwork, prepare some, some supporting evidence to show whether or not you took a financial hit during this time. You need to bring it up to the assessor's office, sit down with one of their commercial division people, get an appointment set. They'll talk with you, and you'll get all that set up, I guess you can say. And they will apply a discount for your property taxes, for your commercial property taxes moving forward into next year. So please remember that residential are going to get 10%, but commercial, the burden of proof lies on the business. Now, if you prove it to them, you get a discount. So please keep that in mind. Getting into your coronavirus statistics real quick, 48,634 cases, 2,950 deaths, 37,017 have recovered, 533,000 tests, 585 hospitalized, on 83 ventilators. In Livingston Parish, 573 cases, 33 deaths, and 8,700 tests. If those numbers sound familiar, they're the exact same ones I gave you yesterday, and that is because the state announced yesterday that they're going to be reviewing a lot of their data again. If you remember, they did this about 5 weeks ago. We didn't have a report one day, and suddenly a lot of the numbers shifted in a lot of different directions because they went through and internally audited them. It looks like they're going to do that again, especially as we approach the impending announcement of phase 3. Again, that would be announced on Monday, June 22nd. Now, the interesting thing is, it's one of those deals, just like we've gone through with phase 0 or stay at home to phase 1 and phase 1 to phase 2. It would be announced on Monday. Everybody would have a week, kind of get their stuff together, and on Friday, phase 3 would begin. So we're kind of looking at, well, is phase 3 going to happen? We've had several upticks in cases in several parts of the state, and some upticks in hospitalizations too, whereas we had some steady declines. So the governor didn't say that we're not moving into phase 3, but that this is concerning. He hopes people have a renewed interest in taking this seriously. We'll get into your mitigation efforts in just a second. But please remember that getting into phase 3 means we have to meet certain metrics. So please remember to take care of yourself, because the governor says a lot of this from the Louisiana Department of Health as well as the state's point of view is very concerning. Talking about those mitigation efforts, please remember to wash your hands for 20 seconds or more with soap and water. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at the office. Wear a mask in public if at all possible. Don't touch your face, the one that's difficult for me. Control your sneezing and your cough with an elbow or a tissue. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others, 25 or less to a gathering, preferably less. Stay home if you're sick and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor, or stay home to work if at all possible. So 1.5 million workers, kind of getting into the employment side of this, new workers have filed for unemployment. So 1.5 million new unemployment claims as of last week. You have about 20.5 million consistent unemployment claims at this time, looking at about 14.1% nationwide unemployment. 455 million was the highest point, the peak of unemployment here in America. In Livingston Parish, you're looking at second place in the capital region, just behind East Baton Rouge. Of course, that's to be expected. Livingston Parish is the second most populous parish in the 9-parish region. You're looking at a total of about 18,000 was Livingston Parish's peak. It's now down to about 8, so it's a very good sign. A lot of people going back to work, getting off of unemployment. The Great American Outdoors Act, if you remember, this is trying to help nationwide or national parks sort of make up on their maintenance list, make up on deferred maintenance, try to spruce things up a little bit, trying to get people to go outside. Now, of course, the maintenance work and that kind of thing is good labor, good money. People get paid to do that, and it's also going to draw people to these parks. Now, one of the big issues that people from Louisiana have, and this was voiced by Senator Bill Cassidy on the Senate floor, is that a lot of this money is coming from those Go Mesa funds, which is funds that are generated as sort of a tax or royalty on oil that's drilled out of the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, Gulf states, especially Louisiana, are sending 90% of this funding for this projects or for these projects at these state parks and national parks to the feds, and they're getting we would be getting about $750 back, whereas other states and other national parks are getting about $1150 back. So this doesn't seem right. Didn't seem right to Senator Bill Cassidy. It's now going to the House. Senator Bill Cassidy, kind of said this is just not right. Of course, Congressman Garrett Graves, who represents this area, is a little more blunt. It says this is akin to highway robbery. We're sending all this money up there, and we're not getting our fair share back. So he's hoping to propose some amendments while it goes through committee or either on the floor as it goes through the House. So we will see how that works out. Again, a lot of money being shipped out, not very evenly. We were talking about phase 3 earlier. LSU does anticipate to move to phase 3 on Monday, June 29th, which means 75% of faculty and staff on campus, but it does mean that social distancing and mitigation efforts will continue. It's going to be interesting to see if they're able to keep up with that. Right now, the interim president did issue a part of the letter that said we will move to phase 3. It said that may change based on what the state does on COVID, because we're not sure what's going to happen over the next couple of days. So it's going to be interesting to see what the governor says Monday and what these cases look like after they've done their internal audit. We should learn more about the numbers here today around noon. Something kind of cool and neat. If you remember, the library the last couple of years has done what's called the virtual dinosaur experience, where you bring your kids up there and you get to walk through all these dinosaurs and they're animatronic, and they do really cool things. Well, today at 10 a.m. on the library's Facebook page or YouTube page, you can check out the dinosaur experience virtually. They didn't want to get involved. They especially didn't want to get in the way of early voting, but they also just didn't want to have all those kids and parents packed in there to look at those dinosaurs. They've had huge crowds the past 2 years. So they wanted to do something virtually that respected the COVID-19 mitigation efforts. So again, that's at 10 a.m. It's going to be a virtual tour of the friendly dinosaurs. You can see it on Facebook or YouTube. Please go check that out. One last time with your mitigation efforts, not going to go over our COVID-19 numbers again because they're the same from yesterday as of this point. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or more. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at the office. Wear a mask in public if at all possible. Don't touch your face. My favorite one. Control sneezing and coughing with your elbow or tissue. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others. 25 or less to a gathering. And stay home if you're sick, utilizing telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. And stay home to work if at all possible. Please remember your traffic this morning. You're looking at delays on the I-12 on-ramps heading into Baton Rouge, but it's not going to be too bad of a commute today. Those on-ramp delays get right into clear skies getting through on I-12 to Baton Rouge. Also pretty clear at 4H Club Road, River Road, and 190 at this time. Some minor delays on 64 heading into Central. It's currently 70 degrees. It's going to be 92 today, so it's going to get warm. 70 degrees again, your overnight low. Looking at a chance of rain on Father's Day on Sunday. Don't forget Father's Day is coming up. With a larger chance of rain on Monday. So we were expecting those showers on Sunday. That's now been moved to Monday. So keep that in mind. May rain later in the afternoon on Sunday. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this week for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. This will be the final show of the week. We'll be back Monday. Please remember that we are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month. We are also online, as mentioned, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We have a podcast page where we put these shows. We have audio and video versions for you to check out. We also have a coronavirus page, which is free, and a breaking news page, which is free as well. We do hope you guys have a great weekend. We hope those fathers and dads out there who are having Father's Day on Sunday, we hope you enjoy yourselves on your special day, and we will be back with you Monday morning.